So guys, we're going to make a chicken biryani today. One of my real home favorite and proper home cooking. So none of the fancy ingredients like your saffrons or different sort of spices, something you're gonna find at home. So follow this recipe. You're gonna really enjoy it. So the chicken I'm using here is just chicken thighs and just normal chicken thighs, boneless, skinless. I got it off Lidl, a really good quality actually. So just take small bits of fat or pieces of skin which is left around, just take it off. And one thigh piece is 4 to 5 dices. That's what I'm cutting into. Once it's cut, just gonna give a good quick marination. So the first marination I'll put is ginger garlic paste, salt and lemon juice. Okay, and give that a quick mix. Now just massaging and rubbing it all together quite well, just making sure that the lemon juice especially it covers all part of the chicken. Then we're putting in some turmeric powder, a little bit of garam masala, half a teaspoon, and a little bit of chili powder, a little bit of dry roasted cumin powder. Just mix that quite well. Now as you can see, I haven't used a really big strong bulk of spices in there, so it just, spices have to be mild, so this shouldn't be overpowering the chicken as well. So just for the biryani to start with, I'm cutting here is a little bit of ginger, and then we have some garlic as well. So that will be going in the sauce, the marination which we use, that's solely for the chicken. So that sort of way the Indian cuisine works. You really have to balance out the flavor in more or less every step. So just going to smash the garlic and give it a quick chop. Okay, and just a bit of onion, we roughly slicing it, a couple of green chilies, and then a little bit of chopped coriander as well we have. So we're going to start the cooking process now. So just adding oil to a hot pan, straight in with our whole spices. And once those spices are aromatic, we're gonna go straight in with our onions. And always just a bit of salt in the onions to release all that moisture, and the onion cooks faster, much more quicker. Now stirring that around, making sure that onions get a good heat and they caramelize, and that's what we're looking for before we move on to the next stage. Now you can see onions are nicely caramelized. So we're gonna go in now with green chili, ginger and garlic, chopped ginger and garlic. Give that a good sort of stir before we go in with our ground spices. So next we're gonna go in with our ground spices, not a huge quantity as you can see, and that's the trick of the cuisine, you don't overload the spices. Okay, now give it a real good stir. As you remember that we have put spices in our chicken as well, so that's why keeping the spices in a good balance. Now chicken goes straight in. The chicken has been marinated for around half an hour. So you give that a good mix. So it's just stirring that around, making sure the chicken seals quite well and takes all the flavors and the spices, all the ingredients in the pan. And then we have a little bit of water just to dilute all the spice and deglaze the pot as well, and that brings all the flavors out. And we're just gonna put a lid on it and make sure the chicken is fully cooked. Okay, now as you can see, the chicken has lose a lot of its own juices as well, so we're gonna take all that out. And without washing the pot, we're going to be using the same pot to keep the biryani. Now rice has been cooked separately, around 70% cooked, so it's not fully cooked rice. So we cook that separately. Now we're gonna start putting the biryani together. So we put a little bit of juices. As you can see, I haven't washed the pot. That's the whole point. Just keep all the juices and all the flavors in the pot. A little bit of butter on the bottom. Then we layer the rice. Okay, nice thin sort of layer. Now the quality of rice which you use is very, very important. You can't take rice which goes mushy when it's cooked. Then we go a layer of the chicken along with the juices. A little bit of fresh coriander sprinkled all around. A few small cubes of the butter. And then sprinkling a little bit of garam masala. Now we'll repeat that process. Okay, so we're just gonna go in with our rice. And as I said, the rice is not fully cooked, and the juices of the chicken is actually going to cook the rice now, and they kind of give all the flavor in the rice, and while the chicken have all the flavor as well, and all that cooking together is the most amazing part of the biryani. So we're just repeating the process, putting in the coriander, a little bit of butter, and then just sprinkling of the garam masala. Okay, so let's go with this layer as well. Exactly the same, no difference. Any sort of juices are left, we're gonna spread that all around. So some of the juices will sink right at the bottom, some of the juices will be absorbed in the rice. So and as the cooking stage is still not finished, so everything, there'll be a lot happening in the pot, and all that flavors will come just absolutely together, you know. Again, the fresh coriander, bits of butter. Now you can use ghee as well, which is a clarified butter. Don't use any sort of oil, they don't work. And then we layer the rice. The final coating of the rice has to be there, just making sure the top is the rice and at the bottom is the stock, because if you put the rice first and we do the cooking, the rice can burn from the bottom. So that's sort of thinking you need to keep. Traditionally you'll be sealing the pot with a dough, but as I said in the start, it's a home cooking food, so don't want to make things complicated. So we're gonna use tin foil. Okay, so we're just gonna cover all those stuff. There's a nice bit of steam inside, there's still juices there, so we're gonna whack it in the oven at 175 degrees for around 15 to 20 minutes. Now after a bit, we take it out. And I usually check as on the top of the pot, if the tin foil is quite hot, you know the steam has been just kind of hitting the pot all the time, and when you open it, the flavors are just absolutely amazing. Now as you can see, I'm not using any spoon, so that's what you need a fork. If you have a carving fork handy, I really like that. And you can see all the liquid which we had is actually vanished. There's no liquid in the pot anymore, because that has been cooking the rice, and the rice is now fully cooked and absorbing all that liquid. Now just get that in the little serving dish, and we're going to serve that with some papadum, a little bit of salad, and some raita, is a yogurt which goes with the biryani. And the garnish is traditionally garnished with some crispy fried onions. I've used red onion here, and of course a little sprinkle of the fresh coriander, which finishes off the dish just perfectly. So guys, have a try of this recipe and I'm sure you're gonna enjoy it. Thank you.